leads to skin aging. One of the main reasons are the free radicals. Free radicals do destroy or activate the degradation of collagen, and the free radicals are neutralized by antioxidants. So whenever you include antioxidants in your daily skincare routine, this is one of the easiest way to combat skin aging.
Welcome to Forever Young, the health and well-being podcast from Lanserhof. My name is Mario Pederzolli, and in every episode, join me in conversation with a variety of health experts and special guests as we explore what it means to live well. We may not find the secret to eternal youth, but join me on our quest as we explore just what it means to live a balanced, healthy, and happy life. Hello again and welcome. Well, the glorious long hot summer is well and truly behind us. Autumn is in the air and the nights are drawing in, and as we head back to the office and back to the old routine, it's not just our mood that is affected by the changing of the seasons. It's quite common also to experience changes in our skin complexion, such as dryness, inflammation, and excessive oiliness. If we add in environmental factors, pollution, and the aging process, it's clear that we really should be taking great care of our skin. But where to begin? Well, all is not lost as we welcome today one of the great experts and globally renowned dermatologists, Dr. Timm Goluecke. Some of our listeners will be familiar with Timm as he holds a weekly clinic in Lanserhof Tegrensee, as well as occasional clinics here at Lanserhof at the Arts Club. Timm is also the creator of the acclaimed plant-based skincare brand Royal Fern, and also has his own skincare and dermatology practice in Munich, where he has travelled from to be with us here today. Timm, it's a great pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Hello Mario, I'm happy to be with you today.
Well, it's our pleasure too. How was your journey?
It was easy. So I took an early morning flight and everything was good.
Now, that's probably the first question, isn't it? Traveling, air travel with pressurized air cabins. Does that affect the skin? Can it affect the skin?
Yes, of course, it's drying out your skin. So that's why I am always traveling personally with a face mist, which may sound strange, but that's good. It's containing hyaluronic acid, and always in between, especially when I'm going to the restroom, I'm spraying that on my face because the air in planes is drying our skin. A little bit like the heating in winter, which will be, I think, one of the topics we are talking about today.
Yes. So you would spray that just prior to boarding the plane?
Yeah, so most important is to to use a proper moisturizer the day you fly. Then when you choose to have a window seat and it's a longer flight, you should also apply an SPF. I know a lot of people do that. But if you really know that you go to Asia, 12-hour flight, you have a window seat, you need to apply SPF because there's UV radiation up there, which is also causing photoaging. So that's important to do. And if it's a longer flight, I do apply in between the face mist. But if it's a short haul, like today it was 1 hour and 15, so I applied the cream, no SPF because no window seat, and a little bit of face mist before I boarded.
Some great advice immediately. Well, we've got off to a good start, Timm. Well, look, it's great to have you here, and there are so many questions for you today from our listeners, members and staff, and maybe before we start, it's quite clear that these days, men as well as women all now understand the importance of a skincare regime. And I think we've really moved on in that respect. Have you seen this evolve yourself and increase over the years?
Yes, of course. I do have my own clinic in Munich since 17 years. So I'm a dermatologist also. Important to say because I've been seeing patients even before the big beauty boom. Because today, when we hear someone's a dermatologist, we only think about beauty. But I'm seeing 50% of my patients really for skin conditions. And back to your questions, 17 years ago, I would say 80% of my patients were women. And now it's 50-50. And especially younger men also come and see me and ask for their perfect skincare regimen according to their way of life, according to their skin type. So this has definitely changed.
Well, of course, this is great to hear because a generation ago that would be unheard of. You know,
yes.
Young males would be asking for that kind of advice.
Still now, when you speak to older patients, sometimes, especially in winter, when people come because they have dry skin and you have to explain to them, yeah, that's also because of winter. I think we will speak about that later. I would say still 70% of men don't use body lotions, body products, etc. I think now around 60% of men use face creams, finally, but body is still a long way to go.
And here we are, two men discussing skincare. So there we are. That's a sign of progress, isn't it? But in your own words, then, Tim, why should we take care of our skin? What are the overriding reasons?
The main reason is because you feel better with a healthy skin. If you have dry skin that doesn't feel comfortable, the other reason often is to prevent aging. That's also one of the reasons why male patients come and see me already in their 20s or 30s and ask them, okay, if I've never used a cream, I don't really know what to use, so what do you recommend? So it's feeling better with a healthy skin, and it's also preventing aging.
Okay, and yes, I think that speaks for itself. And talk us through the seasons. I mentioned this at the top of the show about changing weather, changing climate, changing temperature. We're leaving summer behind, a glorious summer. What damage can summer cause to our skin? Let's start with summer.
So summer, first of all, it's important to change your skincare habits now in fall to winter. So you really have to change from lighter texture, from lighter products to richer textures. And often what I'm seeing in my clinic right after summer is pigmentation, it's impurities because of chlorine, of sweating, of overuse of SPF. But don't get me wrong, SPF is really necessary. So those are the major problems or skin conditions I'm seeing after summer. I would say yes, hyperpigmentation and impurities.
So summer's a good time, or post-summer is a good time for business for you?
It's the perfect time. Now the next 3 months are the most busiest month, month, because a lot of procedures you should also only do in fall and winter, because a lot of procedures require that you do not go in the sun after. So now it's really busy in all dermatology offices all over the world.
You just mentioned the overuse of SPF, which I was interested to hear. What are the consequences of that?
That you sweat, when you don't choose the right SPF or the right sun product according to your skin type. A little bit like with skincare. So a lot of people, especially men, more men than women, are still lost in beauty heaven and don't really know which products to use, what their skin type is, and also which sun cream they use. Often men don't like to use SPF because they still think it's still that sticky white cream your mom used to apply you and you didn't like it. But this really has changed. So there are great textures, special products for oily skin, but often people use the wrong products and this can cause impurities. And also one thing we shouldn't do, what we all do sometimes, that we keep SPF from last year and we reuse it in spring. And that can also, besides of that, the SPF is not as strong anymore. So usually an SPF should be used within 6 months after opening, but also the product itself can change and this can also lead to impurities.
Great
in combination
advice.
with sweat.
And so there is a sell-by date with SPF.
Yes.
Like most products. Okay, great advice. The damage, this is what you're seeing now, the sun damage post-summer. Is that reversible?
Yes, it is, but this shouldn't mean that you should not take care of your skin even in summer, and that you should really include an SPF in your daily skincare regime, especially in summer. So I still see patients coming back now completely tanned with hyperpigmentations, because we don't speak only about beauty, that we don't like the pigmentations. We also speak about that too much sun can also cause cancer and problems. So we should be aware that sun in small doses using the right SPF is good for our health, also for our mental health, but SPF is necessary for men and women in any age.
Got it. So moving through the seasons, here we are, autumn approaching upon us, really. What do we see? How does the skin change during autumn?
So during autumn and winter, interesting enough, our sebaceous glands produce less lipid, meaning the skin gets drier than in summer because we sweat less, the humidity is less. So we need to change our skincare regimen into richer textures. And speaking about body, we also have to start using body lotions. We maybe should start use special cleaning products, especially soap-free products, because soap and perfume is also drying out our body as well. So that's something I'm often seeing. And so mainly richer textures, also taking care of your body. I love pharmacy body products because they are fragrance-free, and also using special body cleansing and face cleansing products, which are less harsh.
So if you had to promote 2 products, 2 named brands, tell us.
So I use every morning La Roche-Posay Isourea Fluid Body Lotion, the fluid one, because it goes in very fast. Because when I'm, especially after the gym, using a body lotion which is too rich, you sweat after. I think we all know this. And this really goes in super fast. I love that. And then there is a cleansing product from the same company. It's called Lipica Syndet, also from Roche-Posay. It's soap-free, which is still cleaning. We don't need soap to really clean, and fragrance-free, and that's something I'm using every day.
And you're not being paid to endorse that product?
No, not yet, but maybe up from now.
Come on then, you're being so nice. Tell us about Royal Fern and really the secrets of its success.
Yes, so Royal Fern is my baby. It's my own skincare line, and the heart of Royal Fern is the Royal Fern complex, which I hold the patent. Royal Fern is Osmunda regalis. It's a special type of fern, the Royal Fern, which is one of the strongest antioxidants in nature. It's also anti-inflammatory. It's also reducing pigmentation. So it fights on many borders of skin health and aging. And all the products are developed by me and my team. And every product needs to be tested in our clinic with the Royal Fern family, with our patients. All the products are made in Germany. So, you should try it. It's a very, very good and trustworthy skincare line.
Thank you. And I should say is on sale here at Lanserhof at the Arts Club, should any of our listeners be interested, of course. And let's complete the seasons then. I think you've dealt with winter too. Springtime, what's happening there to our skin and how should we treat it?
So springtime is vice versa. So we have to change to lighter textures again because our sebaceous glands start to produce more lipid, more sebum again. So we should change from the very rich textures we've been using in winter to lighter textures, because if you use too rich products in spring and summer, again you sweat, and this can cause impurities, and also shiny skin, what no one likes, happens when you use products which are too rich.
Very good. So moving on to nutrition, this is a question from Romans, one of our listeners. How does nutrition affect this quality of your skin and complexion generally?
It's important. So I always explain to my patients when they ask me that question. So it's one of a lot of little mosaic stones which are important to age well. So yes, it's genetics. Yes, it's food. It's exercise. It's avoiding alcohol. It's avoiding the sun. It's also sleeping. I personally sleep 8 hours every day. Last night that was complicated.
Do you actually sleep 8 hours, Tim?
Yes, because I usually go to bed around 10 and then I'm up 6:30 and I try to avoid to use my phone the last half an hour because of the blue light, because this has an impact on your melatonin. And since I practice that, I'm sleeping better. Yes, I'm sleeping 8 hours. So, and of course, it's also for skin health and overall health. It's important to be happy, So
it certainly is. So there's a lot of discipline required, but you're absolutely right. We need to be happy throughout all of this and get that balance right.
Yeah, because I think when you do everything right, you eat right, you sleep 9 hours, you never drink, you always, but you're not happy, this also can show. So it's a mix. But yes, food is very important for our overall health and also for the skin.
And I know you will say staying hydrated and drinking lots of water.
Yes, you have to drink 1.5 to 2 liters a day. even more in summer when you sweat a lot, even more when you travel, because we started to speak about flying. That's very important to drink a lot. So yes, water and the right food.
This is another great question from Jason. In general terms, should skincare routines differ, and do they differ significantly between men and women?
That's a very good question. So I am not a big fan of gender-specific skincare because I believe not so much in difference between men and women. I believe more in different skin types. So I have male patients who have very dry skin, and I have female patients who have very oily skin. I have young patients who have very oily skin and old patients who have very dry skin. So I think it's more a question of your specific skin type rather than being age or gender.
Makes sense. Okay. And I think I'm going to know the answers to these questions. It's all about lifestyle choices, Tim. And so let's start with this. Rouge would like to know the damage that smoking can cause to one's complexion.
Yes, of course. So my friends always laugh because I can tell in, I would say, 90% of the people when you ask me if this person's smoking or not, or so I see it in the quality of the skin. So please out there, stop smoking. Not only for your skin, for your general health, but also for your healthy and beautiful skin.
Rouge, you heard it from Tim.
I'm sorry.
The next one, excessive drinking of alcohol. That's from a few of our staff members. In fact, pretty much all of them. Tell us about excessive alcohol intake.
Of course, that's also not good for our general health, and it's also not good for our skin health. So alcohol is one of the main triggers of rosacea. Rosacea is that skin condition where you tend to have red cheeks, especially when you drink alcohol. So you can drink alcohol, of course, in moderate way. And now we are back to that point I mentioned before. To look beautiful and healthy, it's important to be happy. And when whatever, one glass of red wine every other day makes you happy, that's fine. But you shouldn't drink every day, and you should try not to drink more than 2 or 3 glasses.
Yes. And I'm so glad you've brought up the happiness factor because so many people forget all of that. And occasionally we see that where people are tracking their sleep, they're monitoring their steps, they're watching their calorie intake, the macro balance, but they're possibly leading slightly miserable existence by worrying too much about these things. I'm not negating the importance of that, but it is about balance.
I mean, this is totally right. I'm wearing an Apple Watch because I like it. It makes me walk. It makes me, checking the steps I've taken, but I'm not tracking my sleep because, I mean, I'm lucky. I have a good sleep, but sometimes, yes, my sleep is also not perfect because I had a stressful day, or I'm looking into a stressful day the next morning, yes, and you don't sleep so well. But then I think if you overthink it, this can cause even more problems. I'm not saying that there are patients out there who really have problems with sleeping, and this is not nice. But like you mentioned before, we shouldn't overthink everything. Also, not only sleep, also food. Sometimes when you feel like having a burger, have the burger. Don't have a burger every day, but have it. If you feel like having 2 or 3 glasses of red wine, have them, but not every day.
Yes.
If you feel like going 20 minutes in the sun, wear an SPF, but do it. But just don't do it every day. So it's, a way of finding your way in combining all those mosaic stones to a happy and healthy life.
Perfectly put. We could even end it there, but we won't. Let's talk about the aging process. I know Alice and Penny are very keen to know a little bit more about this. What is happening to our skin as we age? And what is the number one anti-aging skincare tip they would like to know?
It's avoiding the sun. I know this might be boring because I'm always talking about the sun, but sun, yes, it's what is one of the main reasons for what we call photoaging. And sun can also cause skin cancer. I know we are talking not about cancer today, but we should never forget it's not only about beauty, so it's also about preventing those things. But the number one anti-aging skincare tip is, yes, avoiding the sun, but also including antioxidants. Because what leads to skin aging, one of the main reasons are the free radicals. Free radicals do destroy or activate the degradation of collagen. And the free radicals are neutralized by antioxidants. So whenever you include antioxidants in your daily skincare routine, this is one of the easiest way to combat skin aging.
And the sun is one thing, but what about pollution? Those of us that live in the city, do you see the effects of that as well?
Yes. I was in Asia 2 weeks ago, so I went to Seoul to look out for the newest trends in skincare and dermatology. And then I went to Bangkok, and there you really see what urban pollution means. Urban pollution is as bad for your skin as sun, because urban pollution also leads to production of free radicals, what I mentioned before. And free radicals are one of the main reasons for skin aging. So whenever you live in a big city or you live outside and go in a big city, spend the whole day, don't forget at night to give your skin extra antioxidants, which are vitamin C, E, A, special ampules. Royal Fern, we have special antioxidative ampules, but there are a lot of good skincare products out there, even pharmacy products containing vitamin C, and you should include those into your skincare routine when you live in big cities or after a day in a big city.
And can you see the difference? You mentioned earlier you can, or you were asked, can you see the difference between someone who smokes or has smoked their whole life versus someone who hasn't? Can you also see the effects of pollution and sun damage versus someone who's led a life in the shade and in the country?
Yes, of course, you see it.
You do.
Things like more lines, things like more pigmentations, things like more broken vessels, redness, cuperose, rosacea, they are related to more sun exposure, which often is more the case when you live on the countryside, which is on the other side also healthy. So again, you have to find your way of putting the little stones together.
And with regards to the world we live in and where we travel, are there parts of the world where we really should take cautionary steps to protect our skin if we're traveling long haul to particular parts of the world? There's the ozone layer to think about as well. There are parts of the world that are more exposed than others. Do you give that sort of advice as well to your patients?
Yes, of course. There are also very good apps who show the UV index in the place where you fly to. And then, of course, the most important advice is stay in the shade, use SPF, use sunglasses, good sunglasses to protect your eyes, use a hat, especially when you're a male patient and you have a little bit less hair because you're not applying SPF on your head. So always wear a hat. When you have children, buy them protective gear. There are a lot of very good products, t-shirts, etc., which already have a sunblock in. So those are the things I do advise to my patients. And a lot of patients in Germany and also in the UK do use self-tanning products, which are totally good because they only give color to the upper layer. But don't forget, they do not protect you from sun, because sometimes patients come to me because before they go to the Mediterranean, I've been using self-tanning products and think that this is protecting. No, it's not, So even if you have used tanning beds, things like this, you still have to use an SPF 50 when you expose your sun.
And is 50 the minimum level?
Yes, it is. It is. So in Europe, at least in Germany, there is no SPF higher than 50. There's no 100 because the difference of protection is minimal. It's only 2% when you go higher than 50%. So 50 is the highest of SPF what you get in Europe. I know in the States it's different, in Australia it's different, but one more thing to add, when you buy sun products in Australia, in the US, the regulations are different, There are also special protection ingredients which are not allowed in the States, which are not allowed here, so you cannot directly compare products from the US to European.
Why is that, out of interest?
Actually, European sun care products are much more modern because every ingredient for US products has to be FDA approved, and the FDA sometimes takes very long.
I see. So it's not keeping up with
not keeping up,
products.
And some products which are very common in US sun products, some ingredients which are very common in US products are not so common here anymore because there are better ingredients now to protect our skin with healthy ingredients.
So let's turn the tables on you, Tim. So You look 10 years younger than your age.
Thank you.
So tell us about your own particular regime. What does it look like?
So I'm using, of course, Royal Fern, except for my body. I mentioned it before. I'm using La Roche-Posay, the body lotion. So in the morning, I'm shaving. I'm using a special shaving cream. I'm always bringing back from the States. I don't remember the name. It's from Walgreens, so nothing really fancy, but I like it. After that, I'm using the Royal Fern serum, followed by the Royal Fern cream, and that's it. At night, one more thing we haven't spoken about, especially when we speak about urban pollution, you have to clean your face. We always forget it, but that's super important because the dust gets into our pores. This causes free radicals and this leads to skin aging. So I'm cleaning my skin at night with Royal Fern Cleansing Balm, followed by the eye cream. I'm only using an eye cream at night. And again, the Royal Fern cream. I'm using very light textures because my skin doesn't tolerate too rich textures. And even in winter, that's enough for me.
So that's nighttime.
That's nighttime.
Next day, during the day?
During the day. So I just use the cream and the serum in the morning. When I'm going out, of course, SPF. But if I'm going to the clinic, as I'm very lucky, I can walk to the clinic. It's only 2 minutes. I don't wear an SPF. But on weekends, when I'm walking outside, when I'm having maybe a nice lunch in the fall sun, of course, I do wear SPF. SPF right now, I'm using a very light texture, which is from Istine. It's a Spanish SPF brand. I like the products very much. Another brand I like is Helio Care. They actually also work with Fern. It's also from Spain. And at night, yes, cleaning, eye cream, and cream.
And how long does that regime take, Tim? Your nighttime regime pre-bed?
3 minutes.
Is that all?
Yeah.
It sounded
super
like
fast. No, super fast, super fast.
Okay,
super
you're
fast.
giving us hope.
Super fast. And I mean, when you never have been using a skincare product and then finally you make your way to see a dermatologist and ask him or her for your skin type and for products, I give you the advice, don't overdo it in the beginning because you won't do it. Just start with one cream. You can, of course, use the same cream morning and night. It's better to use one product than buying 5 and not using them.
2 of our members, Dominic and Paul, have a question for you, that there seems to be a degree of inevitability here. Everything heads south eventually. We wrinkle and we droop. Shouldn't we just accept this and age gracefully? Or, this is the question, can we really defy our years?
I mean, you can maintain if you use the right product. I think that your skin always looks better when you use the right skincare products according to your skin, because we do not only speak about aging, we also speak about fighting things like rosacea, fighting discomfort of your skin when you have dry skin when you get older. So I think, yes, you should use skincare products, but you always should age gracefully, especially in men. I'm personally not a big fan of fillers. I think things like Botox work well in men, and we also have treatments also here at Lanserhof which are totally natural, like plasma, platelet-rich plasma. It doesn't make you look different, you just look fresher, and your own body helps you to rejuvenate your skin or keep the skin you have. So it's maintaining.
Well, Dominic and Paul, the answer is age gracefully. And,
yes, they do.
But you mentioned there Botox and fillers. Let's talk about that. And clearly that's a growing market. But how do you see that? Does that impact on skin quality as well? After all, we are injecting ourselves, those that do it, with unnatural products.
Yes, it does. I mean, quickly about Botox. Yes, Botox is preventing wrinkles, but we also use Botox in microdoses to inhibit the production of sebaceous glands in people who tend to have dilated pores or impurities. Fillers using hyaluronic acid doesn't always mean to inject your lips or to inject your nasolabial fold. We also use special types of hyaluronic acid to moisture our skin. There's a product called Profilo, what you can use for small wrinkles or to hydrate, especially areas like your neck. So that's not the typical filler what we think about when we hear the word filler. If we talk the possibilities to only use our own body material, what also some of my patients like, because some people are still scared of Botox or fillers, maybe because they've seen some friends or the parents of some friends or whatever who didn't look the way they want to look.
Well, those are the ones we do see.
Yes, but there are a lot of there are a lot of people out there where you don't see it, you know?
That's right.
And coming back to PRP, which is one of my favorite treatments, especially also in men, because first of all, you only use your own material. So we collect the blood, we centrifuge the blood, we separate the red blood cells from the plasma and do re-inject only your plasma. And your plasma contains growth factors, which can activate the fibroblasts. I use a special injection gun with a very fine needle. It's not very painful, so you don't have to be scared. And also that we injure the skin with a lot of little pins of this fine needle. This is also activating a healing process. So you don't look different, you just look better. And you're preventing skin aging in a very natural way.
Wonderful. And what are the, if any, skincare hacks that you could recommend? The quick wins?
The quick wins, SPF again, clean your skin at night and choose the skincare according to your skin type, and don't hesitate to ask your dermatologist. We are always happy to help.
Well, Timm, we really should see you here more often than we do. This has been wonderful advice for all of us, and thanks for making sense of it all actually so clearly. For those of you that are interested in finding out more about Timm, his clinics, his advice, and the products that we have here, please email lanserhof@theartsclub.co.uk. Timm, thank you very much for coming all the way over to share your advice with us. And let's talk about now setting up a regular clinic here for you.
Yes, please. Thank you for having me, Mario. And whenever you have any remaining questions, please email to Lanserhof. Promised I will answer them all.
Thank you, Timm.
Thank you, Mario. All the best for you.
Bye-bye.